What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 14 of Procedurally Generated, the show about the random history of video games. My name's Chris Weber, and I'm here with John Carson.
Hi.
Hi.
Hey, Chris.
Hi. Hello.
Welcome to episode 14.
Yes, always.
It's about
always
time we got to this point. Oh, thank you.
True. We got past unlucky 13.
We did. Hopefully, there's no fire alarms this
sailing.
week.
Right. Yeah, that was I forgot about that.
Yeah, that was the thing that happened last week. I don't think it's going to be that cold tonight, so that shouldn't happen again. Hopefully,
Yeah.
or they've worked out all the fire bugs that have been going on.
Well, yes, firebugs probably would set fires. That's true.
They would actually. I've been watching a show all week called Fire Force, which is an anime about firefighters who fight people called infernals, who are people who like spontaneously combusted into like demons, and there are firebugs involved in that. It's a good ass show. Nice. I think people should watch it. It's fun. It's from the creator of Soul Eater, which I didn't realize when I started watching it, and started seeing a lot of similarities and looked it up. I'm like, yep, I'm gonna probably like the show a lot. So
the cold is what's affecting your fire system. That's because you said the heat kicks in, and that's when things get dicey.
Yeah,
because this weekend is supposed to be very, very cold.
Okay, well, we'll get the cats in their carriers.
Yeah, so I'm nervous for you.
I hope they've solved it after that stuff happening twice now. Fingers crossed.
Yeah,
that's all I could say.
I think Saturday and Sunday is supposed to be like a high of 1 below 0. So
yeah, well, like if that thing goes off, I'm just not leaving.
Yeah, no, that's.
I'm just gonna risk it at this point.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah. So how's it going, Chris? How's your week been?
Week's been well. I mean, I'm healthy and happy.
Yeah. But your internet's not.
Yeah. That's. I had a tech out and said that there's water in my line coming into the house, so he hooked up a temp one
there.
Yeah, it's not. That's not where that's supposed to be. Yeah. So he hooked up a temp one, set a date for it to be buried in the spring. So we should be good now. But I was having all kinds of internet issues. Had to cut my stream off on Monday, and then this morning, Twitch was down for like 2 hours. So I was just like, well, I haven't had a smooth streaming day yet this week, but still tons of love and support coming through in the chat anyway. So it's been good. It's been good.
I mean, you're playing fan favorites right now. So
I am.
It really can't go. Really, it couldn't be a worse time for that to happen. Also, it couldn't be a better time because people just feel good whenever you start playing more. Well, you're not going to play any more Galaxy.
Right. Yeah. No, but yeah. No, we're not.
You should.
Yeah. I'm still not sure what to do tomorrow. So we've been playing some. We've had a good week of streaming since last we spoke. We started and finished Donut County in one stream.
It's a good game.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a good time. You guys should play Donut County. Short little 2.5 hour experience.
It's on Game Pass now?
It is on Game Pass, yes.
That's awesome.
It's about dropping stuff down holes.
Yeah. It's about I don't know, capitalism. There's a lot of things in there.
It's very
about
funny
raccoons.
too.
Yeah, it's very well written.
If you play the game, definitely read the Trashopedia. It's great. The puns are just nonstop.
Yeah, it's very tasty.
But yeah, we did that because last we spoke. I think that same day, Tuesday, I had beaten both Remnant from the Ashes and Dragon Age, and suddenly was like, oh, now what do I do? Because there was the medium coming out on Friday, and I had like this weird gap. So we started and finished Donut County in one stream. We also tried out a new game that just came out on Game Pass. Well, it's also on Game Pass, called Cyber Shadow. Kind of a Ninja Gaiden. Ninja Gaiden.
I don't think I knew that was on Game Pass. That looks rad. That looks super cool.
Yeah, so that is on Game Pass.
That.
It's not really my jam,
sure.
But if you're a fan of the throwback, if you're a fan of like a Ninja Gaiden, and you're hankering for something similar. It is
Mm-hmm.
very much following in that style with just more modern sensibilities. It still tries to play at the old like 8-bit, yeah, 8-bit graphics. It's very old school looking, but it's appealed to a lot of people that I know that dig that stuff. So,
Good. Good.
and then we started up some Super Mario Galaxy, as was a community request. We actually finished. Well, finished it being the operative term. We are not 100% in the game, but we did
You
see
rolled
we did rolled
credits.
credits. Yes,
You rolled credits.
Rolled credits on that today. We also started and finished the medium since last we spoke.
Oh, I didn't know that you finished it. I knew that you started it. I wasn't sure if you dropped off of it or what.
Yeah,
But
nope. We definitely finished it.
how is that?
I enjoyed a lot of it.
Okay.
I hated one part of it,
Okay. Right.
and it was a bummer. But it's I don't want to spoil it because it is a new game.
Mm-hmm.
But it did something that I've found. It did something that is happening more and more often across all forms of media, at least interactive media. And I think it is a terrible trend that needs to go away. And I know I'm not
Okay.
offering a lot of context.
Okay. No, and I have no idea what you're talking about. But
Yeah. So maybe maybe we'll revisit this conversation in a month, and I'll tell you what it is once people have
sure,
had a chance to play.
sure. Or do you have VODs up
I
from
do
that?
have yes, I do have my VODs up. So
Okay, yeah. So if people want to see what he's talking about, go check out Chris's Twitch channel, CW719.
yeah,
Yeah,
that would be
and you
that
can
would also
see
work.
what has irritated him. So
Yeah, you can do that because you'll know exactly where I get mad. And if you want to talk more about it, reach out to me on Twitter, CW719. But in a surprise move for me, a game I also started a game that I haven't played anything in this series since we did the math. I think it's been at least 20 years, which is horrendous to say out loud. But we started up Pokemon Sword. My last Pokemon game, I thought it was Pokemon Red, but somebody in chat said, "Oh yeah, my last one was Pokemon Gold," and I forgot that existed. I definitely did play Pokemon Gold,
which was
so
basically the red of that of that generation.
right. So
Yeah,
that was
I don't know how you've escaped Pokemon for 20 years. Like I have played every game since Red and
well,
Blue.
it's been easy. Like
I guess
I
if you
had
don't have
Nintendo
handhelds.
64,
Yeah.
and there never was a actual like Pokemon RPG released for Nintendo 64.
It's
Um,
half true.
what would be the one that?
I mean, there's loopholes. I mean, there was the Game Boy reader for the
Oh yeah,
N64. You could pop
okay.
it into the controller and play.
It's half true. It's 90% true.
It's 99% true. There was not a dedicated N64 Pokemon RPG.
Yeah, and then I never had a GameCube.
And those ones don't count anyways. Like I know people like Pokemon Coliseum, but
That's
like
true. Yeah, I
those
guess
aren't
there wasn't
actual
really one.
Pokemon games.
Yeah, I
I hear
never
they're
had any of the
good, but I've
handhelds.
never played them. Yeah.
I never had. I mean, I had a Wii, but again, nothing there. I mean, this was the first. This game was the reason that I never played other Pokemon ones. I was
Mhm.
I was craving for like I was craving a 3D Pokemon, something
Yeah.
that played more like a more traditional RPG. From like not I guess not traditional. Traditional would be the opposite, but waiting for something to like build up a world, give me something fun to look at. And so that's I mean that's what Pokemon Sword is essentially to me. Like even the
Yeah.
3DS ones, all that stuff, still that top down perspective. It's just I don't know. I want control over my camera. I want to look around the world, and that's what this is doing. So it's I had to unfortunately cut it pretty short this morning with the Twitch issues, but I'm eager to spend a good long time in that game tomorrow. So
So, like, I saw that you got to the wild area, correct? Like, you're in like the full, well, not the full world, but like you're in the area where you do have like direct control over your camera. You're kind of open to explore a vast area where Pokemon are just kind of like wandering around?
Yeah, I just got there.
You just
Basically,
got
like
there.
right outside the second train station.
Yes. Yep. Yep.
So, yep.
That's a neat place. You're going to visit that a lot.
Okay.
There's a lot of cool Pokemon out there. Uh, what's cool about well, I could talk about Sword and Shield for a while, but um, you can keep checking back there, and like weather will change in those areas, and it will change what Pokemon are available.
Okay.
So you can keep.
Is that what is being affected? So that's the thing. I feel dumb as hell playing this game because it's a children's game and I don't know what
Uh-huh.
anything means.
Sure.
But yeah, like the battle will start and it's like it's raining and there's strips of electricity fluttering about and I'm like,
What?
okay, it seems like a terrible combination of things to just be happening right now, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
So there's spots like they've had weather in Pokemon games since Ruby and Sapphire, so like since right after you quit.
Mm-hmm.
And like basically there were Pokemon that would have weather effects that would like like the sun shining super bright, so everything's kind of like dried out, but fire moves are stronger. Or it's raining and water moves and electric moves are stronger. They have stuff like that, but they started incorporating that into the actual environment. So there's places like where it's hailing, or there's a sandstorm, and your Pokemon, if they're not like a certain type, will start getting damaged every turn.
Okay,
Um,
that's what I was wondering if that was going to happen. I put that theory to the test against a level 26 Onyx with my highest level being my level 12 Grookey, and
oh
that just
yeah, you're gonna
pieced right out of that conversation. I was like, well,
you're gonna run into some overpowered Pokemon out in the wild area, which is
yeah.
awesome. I
It
really
even
like
gave
that
me
they
like
do
the
that.
little
It's
warning,
like, are you
like,
sure?
hey, if you see big Pokemon, they might be really strong. And then I went and
Yeah,
touched him. I'm like, oh my god, he's
it's
really
like
strong.
check the level. If they're not within like 3 to 4 levels of your Pokemon, get out of there.
Yeah,
They will mess you up.
he one shotted my Grookey, and I was
Uh-huh.
out.
He was a sad monkey.
Yeah, but that's all I've been. That's what I've been playing this week.
Cool.
Yourself?
Yeah, well, since you started Pokemon Sword, I have I have stored all of my Pokemon from Shield and started over. So I am almost to the same place you are in Shield. Uh God, where am I? I just got like I filled my party. I'm at
Okay.
I'm in like the second town or whatever. I think I just went and visited the professor's house
Okay.
and
Yep.
talked with like Leon and stuff there. Yeah, I'm probably not far behind you. So, looking to catch up, looking to start some fights with people in the Cryophilic Discord. It sounds like a lot of people are picking up Sword and Shield right now and working through that, which I think is awesome.
Yeah, it was kind of fun feeling like a little bit of a retro trendsetter playing the
Yeah,
game, and then Action said that he was going to pick it up, and he did, and then Coda was playing it, and um, I get it. Like the game, it's charming, it's bright, it's colorful. It's I mean it again. I'm not as up on Pokemon as basically anybody else.
yeah,
But there's already like that feeling of familiarity and just coziness with that game.
yeah, absolutely. And there's
So
like the sense of mystery of what does this guy do? Like, oh, he looks like a horse. Like, what does this horse do? Um, like and figuring out what those Pokemon are and how it fits into your team, whether it fits your own style of gameplay, um, if it fits like what you're gonna be fighting against. Like, there's so much cool like personalization and strategy, and uh, cooperativeness. Like, you can out in the wild areas, you can actually get together with up to 4 people to catch Gigantamax Pokemon or Dynamax Pokemon. So you all fight them like it's a raid boss. Like, everyone
oh,
gets one Pokemon
interesting.
to throw out. Um, and then you wear down that Pokemon, and once you've uh for that one, you actually don't like wear it down and then catch it. You actually have to get its life all the way down, and then it'll give everyone a chance to catch it. Or like you can just get people together in battle. And there's a ton of strategy with that. Like now that Pokemon has 900-ish monsters, like the strategy and the just everything's pretty endless right now. Like there is a meta to it, and I doubt that the Cryophilic gang is gonna start going into like what the Pokemon meta is, but I'm kind of interested to see what people gravitate towards, what people adjust to, because like if one person's just kind of wrecking everyone, what kind of strategies people take. I don't know. I'm excited that people are actually playing it right now, and I hope people will play it at least for a few weeks so we can all mess around with it together. I know you're probably going to move on after you finish the story, which is fine, because that's how you work. But I think it's cool that a lot of people are starting to jump on board. I mean, also it's the 25th anniversary of the series itself. And this month they're probably going to be announcing whatever's coming later this year, which is where I've been hearing I mean, it's the common rumor that's out there is a remake of Diamond and Pearl, which were the DS Pokemon, or the first DS Pokemon games.
Oh, I guess I did hear that rumor as well.
Yeah. And then we have like Pokemon Snap coming out in April. There's a ton of stuff happening. So yeah. I'm just a big fan of that series, and it's always nice to see people around me playing it.
Yeah, and I'm glad to be playing it myself. I wasn't sure going into it, where I was like, oh man, it's been a long time. I don't know if this is gonna work, but so far I am, like I said, just nestled up and cozy in there.
Yep.
It feels right.
When it comes down to it, it's like Dragon Quest. It's Dragon Quest combat. You just have moves that you select. It's a pretty straightforward RPG when you're actually playing it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Anything else
Other
that you've been
than
playing?
that, played some Severed, which was one of the games that we covered last week. Not too much. I just played a little bit more. That game is still good.
Mm-hmm.
And then doing research for a game this week, I dug out my Xbox 360 from storage, hooked it up, and went to look for one of the games that we were covering today, and it is not there, which sucks. But I started going through what was on my hard drive, and I was looking through like, oh, like there's Xbox Live Arcade games, there's Xbox Live Indie games, and I found a game on there called Vorpal. That's I'm like, oh, what is this? Like it has like this very clean, just white background and like a anime looking ship on it. I'm like, all right, let's check this out. And I get in there, and it's a bullet hell shooter. And I think I understand bullet hell now. Really randomly, like I started playing this game and it clicked. Like at least for this game, it's you choose a character, you have a ship, you're at the bottom of, it's like a vertical shooter, shoot 'em up, and then there's like a boss at the top of the screen, and all you're doing is just trying to avoid the boss's just the armada of bullets that are just coming your way, and you're shooting them back and just trying to take down their health, and maybe get some power ups along the way, or like get a super move that will eliminate all of the enemy's bullets and like give you health, I think, or points. Something's happening. I don't get it 100%. But I think the whole thing with bullet hell is like, don't worry about what the boss is doing, just make sure your ship stays alive. So like instead of having my eyes at the top of the screen, they were just at the bottom at my character, and like just making sure I was weaving back and forth between the shots that were coming. Like everything's patterned really well. So like,
hold on, okay, this can't be the first time you've played a bullet hell game though, right?
It's not, but it's the first time that it's like kind of clicked for me. Like usually
okay.
Like usually it's I'll die in like 3 seconds. It's like, this is impossible.
Okay.
I don't know. Like the vertical shooters that I'm used to are like Galaga. Like,
okay.
Yeah, there's stuff going on, but it's not like the apocalypse coming at you. But yeah, with this, it's just I finally started seeing the patterns and being able to weave in between all the bullets, and I was getting pretty good at it. But then I had to get back to actually researching for this week, so I had to stop. But Vorpal is a game that you can no longer play because it is an Xbox Live indie game, and we'll probably talk about that later.
Yeah.
Other than that,
sum it up?
ton of Magic. Just Magic all weekend. The new set came out, Kaldheim, and I spent all weekend just grinding on that. So it's very good. It's a lot of fun. I streamed my first sealed event with it and my first 2 drafts with it. And I might put those up on my YouTube channel. Not sure yet though. But had a lot of fun with it, and I will continue to be playing Magic forever, probably. So.
I think forever's been established.
At this point, unless something goes horribly wrong. But this new set is very good, and it's being very well received by the Magic community as a whole. So
very cool.
Yeah.
Well, nice. Before we get into the games, there were 2 things that we wanted to real quick bring up. 2 announcements that were actually made today here this fine Tuesday. I had a chance to catch them as they happened because Twitch was down. So I got to just sit on Twitter.
Twitch was down, or you were down?
Twitch was down.
Geez. Okay.
Yeah.
So
no, today's issue was not an internet issue. Today's issue was a Twitch North America issue.
Oh no.
I don't think it affected everyone, but a good chunk of people were not able to go live.
Is this why Jeff Bezos is stepping down from CEO?
I sent him an angry tweet. I mean, it could be.
he felt that one Jeff, really deep in his heart.
WTF, mate?
What's going on? He's like, well, can't come back from this one.
But I had a chance.
Damage.
But I had a chance to be on Twitter, and it was the thing that made this especially cool is that both of these things that were announced today, you know who I saw tweet them out? Andy McNamara.
Yeah. Hey.
Yeah. So if you guys who don't know, Andy McNamara, former editor-in-chief of Game Informer, who's just been there since forever. Went to work. What do you remember his specific title?
He's like director of PR or something.
Okay.
I'm gonna look it up real quick.
Yeah, we'll find it.
He is the director of comms strategy at Electronic Arts. So
okay. Yeah.
Basically the director of PR, I guess.
Yeah. Good enough. You get the picture. But he, as I was like looking at my timeline, like his tweet popped up announcing the Mass Effect Legendary Edition, and the tweet included the trailer for that. So that was cool. It was finally made official. The trailer was finally dropped. We'll talk about that more in just a second. And then a little bit later, as my timeline refreshed, he also announced that EA is making a brand new college football game. So
finally.
2 things. I think I'm excited. College football was always superior to Madden. NCAA games were always the better football game when compared to Madden. And if you go back like 6 weeks ago or whatever, we talked about Madden, and I hate Madden now. I can't stand it because the game just never changes. So it'll be fun to see how they tackle college football. But Mass Effect is the big news.
They're both big.
They are both
really big.
Well, true, but Mass Effect, I think that's like the
immediate.
I think that's I shouldn't say larger audience because people are going to go nuts. I mean, every Madden fan is going to have something.
Yeah, I wouldn't
a vested interest in.
Maybe comparable, but
yeah.
For our listeners, probably the larger audience.
All right. So, but yeah, Mass Effect, the Legendary Edition, including Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3 was announced. The trailer was shown. The trailer is super good. I thought that was a really
It's a
well
good
done trailer.
It's a good trailer.
Um,
Mass Effect looks good. It's a good looking
yes,
game. See, good looking series of games.
and it's just over 3 months away, coming out May 14th.
May 14th. That's it.
So yeah, that was exciting. I'm eager to play through Mass Effect again. I've played through each of the Mass Effect games once, all when they first came out. I haven't touched them since. So,
oh, okay, yeah, same. I never finished 3. I only got like a couple hours into 3. So
sounds like that's okay from what I've heard.
Yeah, I also feel like a lot of the issues that people had with 3 are overblown, especially the reception to and leading up to them like changing the ending or like clarifying the ending. Like that all just sounded like people getting mad on the internet and staying mad on the internet. It's not good to do.
No. I mean, I don't have any bad memories of my time with any of the Mass Effect games, including the end of Mass Effect 3. I remembered it and I was just like, all right, it's over.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't need to, I guess Mass Effect 3. I guess Twitter was around then. It wasn't that long ago, I guess, but
oh yeah, Twitter was definitely around. But yeah, so the Mass Effect Legendary Edition, they're bringing all 3 Mass Effects to Xbox One, PS4, Xbox Series X, Series S, and PS5. They are, what are the enhancements that they're doing? It's 4K on consoles that can do that. They're changing some stuff up with 1. Like they're making 1 be closer to how 2 and 3 play, which I think has been the rumor for a long time.
Yeah, just kind of making some modernization tweaks to kind of add to Mass Effect 1 what they learned from the development of Mass Effect 2 and 3.
Right.
So
everything's still in the same engine. It's all Unreal 3. It looks nice. Looks really nice. I think that even playing like 1 today and like playing it in like 1440p or whatever I could play it on my computer, like it still looks really nice. Like the texture work is great. I think the facial models are awesome. They did a really great job with the texturing and the facial rigs back then. They're just going to look even better now.
Right.
Yeah, I'm excited to jump back into this.
Yeah, it comes with like you said, the 3 games, and it also comes with 40 DLC.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Things, but there is one that was excluded. I saw.
Which one?
Of all of the DLC that came out with it, I found this on Game Rant, but apparently the Legendary Edition is missing the Pinnacle Station DLC.
So, I think what that was.
Yeah,
is that from Mass Effect 2?
It was the second piece of DLC added to Mass Effect.
Oh, Mass Effect 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pinnacle Station served as an exciting way to hone combat skills aboard a top secret Alliance space station, including 13 combat scenarios and a whole new location to explore. So
sure.
They were unable to get a hold of the source code for the DLC, apparently. So if you were a big fan of Pinnacle Station,
sorry.
I'm sorry.
But it doesn't sound I am personally sorry. It's our fault.
It is. Jeff Bezos left Amazon because of this issue right here.
No, listen, we don't need to cloud the real issue. It was that you couldn't stream today.
It's true. It was a combination of things, all right? But it was mostly me not being able to stream, but
100%.
But yeah, so that's exciting. We're excited.
It is.
I'm excited.
It's very cool.
Any other topics you care to go over, John, before we get started on this week's games?
Not really. I don't think so. We were talking before, like we don't really want to talk about stocks again. It's not really our show, and also that stuff is basically over. So
yeah, I've been listening to it for a week now, and I still don't know. I still don't understand what's happening.
It was very fun to watch people on Facebook treat it like it was the Ice Bucket Challenge for a week. um, which was I don't know.
I didn't make any money off it, so
I mean, I tried, but
I
like,
did too.
I never got to the point where an app would let me purchase a stock. So,
Oh, really?
but also like I was doing it on the same day everyone else was when everything was like leveling out. Like you weren't going to
Yeah.
make anything by that point anyways. Like, anyway,
It's
yeah.
just, yeah. I mean, honestly, if it was, if GameStop wasn't the stock, I don't feel like the conversation would be as prevalent in our circles.
No, it wouldn't. It
Um,
wouldn't. If it
but
was
just
just
the
like
fact,
AMC or BlackBerry,
yeah, just the fact that GameStop is the one that set this whole thing in motion, and then it automatically kind of wrangled up a lot of gamers to talk about something that, I don't know, in my opinion, very few people actually know anything about.
yeah, yeah.
So, and that's all it was just a
a
lot
lot of
of,
people pretended for the last week that they knew what they were talking about with stocks.
yeah. I actually had
Um,
really good advice a week prior. I just didn't register it properly from a friend of mine who said like, "Oh yeah, this GameStop thing. I don't know." The way he made it, the way he said it to me, he plays a little bit of video games, but he's not super big into
sure.
games. But he
Yeah.
explained it, and I was just like, "Oh, okay. Well, that's cool. That's interesting that happened."
Yeah, I'm
Happened
sure there's
like,
I'm
uh,
sure there was speculation
yeah. I
like
was like, "Oh,
from
well, I thought of a thing that already was done," and then it jumped up
yeah.
crazy high. If I'd have maybe
Yeah.
registered, or we would have talked it out, maybe I would have bought some early. But here we are,
Yeah, the
still
height
poor.
still poor. I mean the height was $469.
Yep.
And now it is at 90. So,
Yep.
yep.
Hopefully,
Uh,
people got
s-
out. But there's the thing. Like, you're kind of being uh you're being attacked if you sold. Like, that's the thing. It's
yeah,
hold
and
the line and all of this stuff. Okay, we said we were going to talk about it. Here we are, and I
yeah,
can't
and
help it.
I know. Like I don't care. I don't care that we're talking about it now, but like I'm not going to pretend like I know about the stock market, but
Yeah,
also I'm not going to be all like rah rah like all of this is great. Like there's some good and some bad that come from this, and there's a lot of people who jump on board because they see people making money and jump on the bandwagon for that and will yell hold the line because they see other people saying that when they
yeah.
don't understand anything that's happening.
It has become a massive echo chamber.
Yeah. Yep. So
The I'm all about the thing that I think has affected me the most, or kind of bothered me the most about the whole ordeal, is the immediate willingness to protect the wealthy, um, in terms of
oh totally.
what has happened with Robinhood
Yeah.
stopping trading on those specific securities. And um, the comparison comes up often, and I think it's an apt one. The stimulus package that is always being talked about, and how long it's taken to get through something like this, going on weeks, going on months.
Yeah.
But yet something like this happens to the wealthy, and same day actions are taken to discuss bailouts for companies that lose all of these billions of dollars, and the risk just
Right.
isn't the same. And I think that's been the most infuriating part of everything that's happened.
I
Yes, I'd
mean,
love to make some money, but at the same time, it's just, man, it sucks seeing things
yeah.
happen the way that they've happened in this
Well,
instance.
I think something to remember is the stock market is not the economy, and I
Yeah,
think some legislators should also adhere to that mantra as well, which I know a lot do, but also a lot of billionaires were bailing out other billionaires in this case. Like it wasn't just like the government that was doing bailouts; it was other hedge funds that were bailing out hedge funds
right.
with this. So, um, and I like I'm probably dumb for saying this, but like I'm not surprised and I'm not angry that like trading was halted for any of these stocks. Um, because like people got caught with their pants down, and like companies like Robinhood who um are allowing regular people to trade stocks are owned by other hedge funds and other people who are also making and losing money off these same stocks. Like, of course they're gonna somehow change how that works if like some gum gets in the gears. um yeah, I don't know. And seeing people just like be mad about that who had just started trading these stocks because they heard of everything that was happening, and like going all torches and pitchforks about it immediately was an interesting thing to watch.
Yeah, it
But
was.
like I understand the nuances of free, like the free market and free trading, and but also I don't think people know the nuances of end user license agreements and what companies can and can't do with their platform for trading these things. It's a lot of legal stuff hidden in fine print that like people aren't going to get prosecuted for stopping people from trading certain stocks. Like, asses are protected.
You know, John.
Yep.
I sure am glad we decided not to talk about
We
stocks.
yeah, we definitely avoided that stock situation.
Yeah. Oof. Who
Oof.
wants
Yeah.
to who
Who
wants to
wants
talk
it?
about that?
Jeez.
Anyway,
Anyways,
guys, if you enjoy the show, if you've enjoyed what we've talked about, minus maybe the last 5 minutes,
I mean, if you enjoy that too, if you want to tell me
yeah,
I'm
you
an
might enjoy
idiot
it.
for these things, that's
That's
fine. I
true.
call myself an idiot every week
That's
on
true.
this
It's
very
actually in
show.
my channel rules. You don't have to call me an idiot. I'm already well aware of that.
Some people on Patreon pay me to call me an idiot. So
if you guys do enjoy the show, though, if you guys enjoy what you hear, before we get into the games here, please leave a 5-star review on whatever app you're listening on. It would mean the world to us. I think we've added a couple of more since last time we talked about however many there were. It obviously does us a tremendous favor. It gets us in front of new listeners. And yes, we would greatly appreciate that. Now, if you'd like to play a bigger role and be a part of the show and offer up your feedback and thoughts and questions and all that good stuff, then you can reach out to us in a multitude of ways. We've got our Patreon, patreon.com/procedurally generated. We've got our Twitter, PG_show. We've got our email, pgshowinbox@gmail.com. We've got our Discord linked below and our still kind of shiny new YouTube, which I
still
think is also
shiny.
linked.
People have not damaged those comments yet. So please come in.
Yes.
Just run wild in those comments.
I found myself randomly thinking about the downvote you brought up last week, though. It was like Saturday on my way back from tennis, and I was just like, "Oh man, we got a downvote." That's right.
Bet it's Timmy.
That probably was.
Timmy, if you're listening to this for the second time, I know it was you.
Yeah.
But one of the upvotes was him too.
Oh,
so
well,
that's fine.
There you go. But that's all I got. Should we get into the games, John?
Please. Let's do that.
Let's go. Would you like me to introduce the first one?
Sure.
All right, I'll do it. All right, this is a.
I'll do it.
I'll do it.
I swear, I'll do it.
I'm doing it. It's too late. This is a game developed by one Nicholas Pidgeon, or Pigdion.
Pigdon? It's Piegdon. We're gonna just slaughter that name.
Yeah, I'm not sure if this app auto-corrected or if I just brained in the word pigeon, but I definitely spelled it as pigeon. I know that's not how you spell it.
It's like
it's like
Pigdon. Pigdon.
But it's developed by him.
Nicholas, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
And it is published. It's a self-published game. It would appear.
Yes.
Also published by Nicholas. It is a side view action game for the genre. I think that's a fair assessment. We'll get more in detail. That's not super self-explanatory, but released in 2010 on the Xbox 360. I personally have no experience with this game. This is a game called UFO Commando.
It is. The official description of UFO Commando from the Xbox 360 Indie Games interface is take on an alien army in a continually escalating war. Pilot your UFO into the heart of the enemy base and try to come back in one piece. See if you can top your highest score, including deformable terrain, multiple vehicles, and 4 unique worlds. Yeah, so this, we mentioned before, this was a self-published thing, which you don't really see much on Xbox 360. The reason why it is because it was part of the Xbox Live Arcade, or the Xbox Live Indie Games program, which allowed people to self-publish their games. And we can get into that a little bit more later, into that service. But Chris, what is this game?
So looking at this game visually, I was reminded of Worms.
Yeah, I can see that.
And I do that a lot, where I kind of compare like games to maybe more well-known games, because this game is probably not super well known.
No,
You've got the side view, you've got fluctuating terrain. You're controlling a vehicle, one of 5 vehicles. There's a flying saucer, there is a bomber flying saucer, there's a laser tank, there's a drill tank, and there's an obsidian tank.
I'm glad we both wrote all those down too.
Yes. As you'll see, there's not a lot else to write.
Yeah.
Each of those vehicles have different abilities. For example, the drill tank can drill underground while the flying saucers fly, which would be useful. And then all vehicles have 2 standard attacks. There's a laser attack, and then there's a limited supply of missiles. Now, I copied that as is, which makes me think that all vehicles have 2 standard attacks, but they're all the same.
See, I don't know, because I've only seen 2 vehicles work.
Yeah. And they all seem to have that same red laser. I assumed that was the same, but I thought maybe the secondary weapon was different. But
you'd think the drill tank would be something different altogether.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
And again, there's going to be stuff that we're not going to be able to detail, and we'll explain why.
Yeah.
Now, if you take damage, you do have the ability. So this map is a side-scrolling map that you can both progress to the right and you can progress back to the left.
I think it's in a circle, I believe.
Oh, does it circle around?
I think it's like a Terraria situation.
Okay, because I saw like the mini map in the upper right shows kind of the full look in like a rectangle view. I guess I didn't know if it would wrap all the way around or not. But
if you look at the like the box art for the game, it shows like a world that's like spherical, and it shows like all the surfaces. I don't know if that's how it works though. And I feel like, all right, so I'm just gonna let everyone in on this little secret here. There's no way to get this game now.
Yeah.
UFO Commando, like I mentioned before, was part of the Xbox Live Indie Game initiative, where indie creators could self-publish, usually for it's a cheaper price on Xbox. I think creators got like 70% of the profits of whatever game they put on the service. But that service was shuttered back in 2017. Anybody who had purchased and downloaded a game, or had purchased an Xbox Live indie game, could still download them now. But there's no way to shop for them and purchase them today. Which is how I was able to play Vorpal today, but I wasn't able to purchase UFO Commando and play it. Can't even find it on the service at all. The only stuff that we could find for this game was a YouTube video that shows about 3 minutes of gameplay.
Yeah, that's all we have to go for.
That's all we have
on this game.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, because this is an Xbox 360 game. And this, I find myself thinking this more and more as we do this show. The need to preserve games. This is an Xbox 360 game, and I would say far and away, even over games like Skippy's Revenge, these super obscure titles, they're still they still exist in some form. This game simply doesn't
They are
exist.
Still on Microsoft servers. Like, you just can't buy it. Like, they do exist because you can re-download them.
Right. They're just not accessible. So I would say that UFO Commando is probably the least accessible game we've covered. I can't think of any examples off the top of my head on
No,
this
because I
show.
mean, we've played I've played the second game on today's show extensively,
Oh yeah, I
and
did. Yeah.
that's a kind of like it. Spoilers.
uh, I did too.
Like, yeah, I mean, there's ways, there's archival services, and I have seen like I put out a tweet earlier today, just like, hey, are there ways that these games are being archived because the service doesn't exist anymore? I guess there were people who were trying to convince developers of XBLIG games, excuse me, to send them ROMs to like start preserving it themselves. But really, the only like surefire way to make sure that you can get these games to run are if they were ported to PC, which like a game like Beat Hazard was, or God, what I made a game with zombies in it. Do you remember that?
No.
It was like one of the first like hits from this thing, and it was just like a twin stick shooter that was just complete nonsense and had a fun song that was attached to it. And like dude made, I don't know if he made a ton of money, but uh like he at least made an impact and made some other stuff after that. Like those games are brought over to other places. Like there's a Steam group page that's all XBLIG games, but it's only like 30 games or something, and there were like 3,000 games on there
Oh wow.
that are just gone. So it's kind of weird that like Microsoft didn't just leave that open for people to play, even make them free. Like send these creators some money, send them a check, and just like make them available
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah. It's strange. I mean, so when we're sitting here talking about like, I think that's how it is, we literally have no idea.
Yeah.
I mean, the other bullet notes that I had were, if you take damage in this game, you can return back to your home base. You can go back, get repairs, and continue the fight.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can also have the ability to exit your vehicle, walk around the level. You get to keep the laser, but your missiles are replaced by a jetpack, so you can fly around the world. You take
Okay.
one shot though, you're dead. All of these are great, fine details. Unless you own the game, you'll never know.
Right. Right.
Which
Like
sucks.
I don't know what the other three worlds look like. I don't know what the I don't know what the obsidian tank is. It sounds cool.
Yeah,
Sounds
I
like an
mean,
obsidian tank.
technically, there's 4 worlds with 4 levels each. So we saw one of the levels from one of the worlds, which means there's 15 more chunks of this game
Yeah.
levels wise that just we couldn't find if we wanted to.
Yeah.
Um, but that's really all we can go into with the gameplay. I don't have. Is there anything else that you have? I guess.
No.
Okay.
Not
This
about like
this
this game in particular. It's just more about uh the indie game service and like what this game was built on, and just like looking at it at first glance, like, oh yeah, this was definitely an indie game in a more branded term than what indie games in general are. Um it was just like a separate service from Xbox Live Arcade. It had uh its own marketplace on Xbox 360. A lot of the games that were in that indie games section were built with Microsoft's XNA uh suite of tools, and that was just like an easy way for hobbyists or students to learn about making games, and make like a finished project and put it up on Xbox. It was a neat little service that they had for a few years. And I feel like this was like, I have no way of knowing for sure, but it looked like a game that was built on XNA.
hmm.
I could tell by like the button prompts, like everything was very much a uh like a JPEG of what Microsoft had for like the start button or the triggers or any of the face buttons. A lot of that stuff was kind of pre-baked into the XNA platform.
I mean, this is the first time I've come across a game also that did not even have a listing on the Internet Games Database.
Right. And some of these games just kind of slipped under the rug like that.
Yeah.
Because they weren't like, they were published, but they weren't like officially published. Like they were and they weren't.
Right.
Yeah, it's hard to research a lot of these games because of that. Like they're just kind of projects that might have gone up on XBLIG, that someone made casually, and there might not be like any further story on it. Like we know the guy's name who made this, but also like during our research we couldn't pinpoint if the person that we found on Twitter or on Google is like the same guy who made this game, even though there's like some things that point to him doing stuff with video games. He doesn't have anything that references this, and nothing really references him directly besides just the name. So yeah, we really don't have much more about this unless you do, Chris.
No, I mean the only thing, there's something that like tickles the back of my brain because so we talked about Nathan Pigden. Sure. Nathan and Steve, they for some reason it's killing me, and I talked about this, John, and this might be where I need the community to help out.
Yeah,
their names ring a bell with me, and I cannot for the life of me figure out why. And it could be a case of mistaken identity. It could be that the names are similar to some other name, but again, it's Nathan and Steve, Piegdon, Pigden. But I also feel like when I heard it, it was Nathan and Steve Pigeon. I feel like, which is an easy thing. My brain forces me to say Pigeon when I read their name. I don't know if it had something to do with the new Atari. I don't know if it had something to do with the new ColecoVision, the Coleco Chameleon, or something to that effect. If you guys know that either of those names in some capacity as it relates to the video game industry, and even recent, because I felt like I heard somebody talking about it on a podcast. I can't remember which podcast because I listen to a lot of podcasts, and this would have been a while ago. I Googled every which way I possibly could to try to figure out more about these guys, and I couldn't figure it out. So I'm maybe I'm mistaken, but if you guys know those names or if you've heard them in some capacity, reach out. Let me know, because it's driving me nanners.
Reach out to us. Maybe don't necessarily bug the people who have those names online.
Yeah, no, don't do that. Don't do that.
leave that to us. we'll do that if we feel the need to.
Yeah, sorry, I should be clear. Reach out to me, so you can point me in a direction to research in a certain way. I know, I'm almost certain that I've heard these names tied to a news story relatively recently, and it was driving me nuts when I was researching, and I couldn't figure out why or how.
Yeah. I think overall the big takeaway from UFO Commando is, what does preservation look like for digital platforms that are end of life? Like, obviously Microsoft has these files on servers, so I guess it is archived somewhere at Microsoft. But how is that eventually made available so people can like play or see these things again?
Yeah.
And without it necessarily coming to people like hacking their hard drives on 360 to pull the data off of it to get it running on something else. Like, people are always going to find that way to do it. But I wonder if there's any concerted effort now, 4 years later, after the service has officially sunsetted, if there's something actually being done to take care of what these people have created, whatever the end products are for these. It's an important topic. especially moving into an all digital age. Yeah, I think that something should be done. I'm sure there is something being done. But yeah, if anybody has any ideas on if that is happening or has any like concrete proof of that happening, that'd be great to send our way as well.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's our first game. Should we take a break?
Sure.
Awesome. We'll see you guys in just a little bit. Welcome back. Did I surprise you?
Yeah, you did actually.
Okay, yeah.
I freaked out over here, man.
I said we'd start in 5 seconds, and then 4 seconds in, I just went.
Yeah, why are you gonna come at me like that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's take just, a swing at you.
That's just what I'm about.
Gosh.
How was your break?
It's all right. I got myself a cream soda.
Ooh, you know what?
Cream
soda's the most underrated soft drink.
It's so good.
It is so good.
It's delicious. I've been making the mistake recently of having ice cream and then drinking a cream soda, and then just does not feel great afterwards because you're making a root beer float in your stomach.
Yeah. Why don't you just pour them together? Well, then you'd be making a root beer float on the outside of your stomach.
Right, exactly. I don't want that. Yeah, I want my Americone dream to taste different than my cream soda.
Well, I ran upstairs to a crying baby, trying to understand why, because I heard him crying for like the last 5 minutes of why we were recording.
Yeah,
and after a while,
it's starting to become a habit.
Well, I was like, I gotta. Right, yeah. Last week, where you're like, "Did you just leave to make your child cry?"
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
No.
Is he crying? Yes, yes.
But this time, no.
I am
his
father. I can make him cry.
Yeah, he was getting a bath from mom, and I went upstairs, and Kate was just drying him off, and he was just crying. And I was like, "What's wrong?" And she's like, "He's tired." I'm like, "You've been crying for 10 minutes because you're tired?" Like,
that's man, what kids do.
To be a child.
Oh, get used to it. He's gonna be doing that for the next 5 to 6 years.
I know, right? And then he was fine 2 minutes later. So it's just, I was like, I got to make sure, like, okay, is Kate unconscious? And, he's like trying to wake mommy. I don't understand what's happening.
Yeah, just make sure everything's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to point out that me, as a person who has never been a father, I'm going to give you all the advice in the world about what's going to happen with your kid.
Teach me.
Listen, as an uncle of like 8 kids, all at very different points of their childhood. I've seen it all before. I understand from a distance. I'm analyzing this as an uncle.
Taking it in. Filing it away.
And then just going, I don't really need anything. I don't need this information. So here you go, Chris. It's all yours.
Perfect. Thank you. Gosh.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Oh, man. John, should we introduce game number 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, we should. All right. I'm gonna give you the honors. I introduced the first one. Oh boy. Fire away.
Let me pull this up here. All right, this is an MS-DOS game from 1995, developed by Ad Games, published by Volkswagen. This is VW Sharan Pack and Puzzle.
Yeah.
Is it Sharan? Is it Sharon?
I think it's Sharan. I
want to call it Sharan.
Yeah. Not only have I never heard of a Sharan, I've obviously never heard of this game focused on the Sharan specifically.
Yeah.
What's a Sharan?
So the Volkswagen Sharan is it's a minivan that came out in the 90s from Volkswagen.
Sure is. This thing's a beast too.
It is a beast, and that's why there's a whole game about shoving things into it. Yeah, this actually has some pretty interesting like backstories from when it was created. It was like a joint project between Volkswagen and the Ford Motor Company. They were trying to produce vehicles increasingly important minivan market. So they developed this and the Ford Galaxy together. And then this was Volkswagen's just minivan solution for a few years, and I think they actually had them for quite a while through 2000. It looks like
I think there's even like
2004, 2007. I'm scrolling down this page. They
does it get
were
to
going
like
for a while.
2012? I felt like
Seen
I
one
saw a
in
picture of 2012,
2015.
2015. Yeah, all right.
2015 got a
So this is
facelift. It
a
says.
long-standing vehicle model.
I've never heard of a Sharan before,
Never. Nope.
so I don't think
Now, to be
did it
fair,
even
when I'm
come
going
here?
car shopping, I'm not looking at a lot of minivans yet.
I mean, well, now's the perfect time. Wife, child.
That's true. I'm almost sure too that
living.
this car is not in Gran Turismo. So I mean, that's just another knock against
It's
it.
not. I actually looked up what games this car is in.
Well,
The Volkswagen Sharan.
They have a database for that.
They do.
That was awesome to stumble upon.
It's really neat. Like you could just look up any make and model of a car and see what games they were in. The Volkswagen Sharan was in Alarm for Cobra 11 Director's Cut, Cities XL and Cities XL 2012. The Sharan Mark II is in a game called Emergency 20. Those would be the closest versions of the Sharan to this game. We should kind of get into what this game is.
Yes, we should.
Yeah, so VW Sharan Pack and Puzzle is a puzzle game where you are trying to squeeze in people that I think her name is Lisa, the driver of the Sharan. She finds a group of people on the side of the road and tells them to get in, and you are shifting and turning people to fit them into like a grid-based layout within her Volkswagen Sharan.
That's right, folks. This game, 100% about a specific vehicle, has no opportunity for you to drive said vehicle.
No, but since it's a minivan, you gotta fit as much stuff in it as possible.
Yes,
you gotta fill it to the brim with people or half-naked mermaids. How far? So I mentioned that I played some of this earlier. Chris, how far did you play into this? If you did,
okay.
Chris?
I couldn't beat the first level.
Oh.
I tried multiple times and I almost had it. I was so close, and the timer ran out with as I was I had one spot I just needed to fill. One spot. The timer was ticking and I was all stressed out and I was getting ready to move something. I thought I had it and the timer ran out. And I was like, I'm done. I'm done.
So we should also clarify, I don't think we mentioned this before. This game, like Beefy Roll, Snack Zone, is all in German.
Yes.
It's entirely in German. So any hints that they might be giving us, you can click on the driver and the driver will say things. I have no idea what she's saying.
She was telling me all kinds of stuff and I was like, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm just trying to rotate this child in a stroller.
Yeah.
So the first group of people that you come up to is just like a family. So it's like a mom, a dad, a kid, a baby, a stroller, rollerblades. There's a few other things, and you're like, how am I going to fit all of this into this minivan? Which I'm sure Volkswagen is all about that kind of marketing. Like, oh, I could fit all of this stuff in here somehow. So you start to like piece it out and place pieces of the puzzle within the Sharan. And you start putting stuff in, and you're like, I literally cannot fit everything in here. Like there are not enough squares. These people are not making the right geometric shapes.
Yeah, this
for
lady's
me to squeeze everything in.
Stupid hair is taking up a space.
Yeah.
She's 4 spaces tall and 1 space or 2 spaces wide, but just where her hair is, because for some reason it's blowing, and that's a static space now that I have to somehow fill.
Yeah. And it's weird because like people are not squares or rectangles, but they're trying to fill out like that space. So it's really hard to like determine how many spaces a person or a stroller actually take up when there's like diagonals or hair flowing in the wind. So you start squeezing stuff in, and then you start to like look at all the pieces, and you're like, can I put like things onto other pieces and have them carry that into the Sharan? And so like you start putting rollerblades on the boy, you put the baby in the stroller, and you start like you actually have to puzzle things out for like what matches with who before you actually shove them into the car.
Yeah, important to note, this game cares not at all for the safety of said passengers.
No, you
baby
can
in
twist them,
carriage
turn them,
and then putting her in the car upside down works in this game. Doesn't work in real life. Don't do this in real life.
I mean, you could try it in real life. As a person
Don't do
who's
it in
not
real
a father.
Again, we've covered your ability to convey fatherly advice.
Yes,
don't do it in real life.
So yeah, you have 999 seconds to shove all these people into a car.
Sounds like a
otherwise
long time.
You just lose. Does it just go to like the screen? I never lost.
Well,
so
see,
I don't know what that's like.
You shut your mouth right now. So what happens, and this is why I stopped after I lost the one, because when you start the game, you're treated to at least a 3 or 4 minute cutscene. You can't skip it, and it's just it's a woman who's got her like elbow on the windowsill and is driving. The hair's blowing through her wind, or her wind is blowing through her hair.
Both. I mean, technically both.
And her mouth is like just kind of animating, open and closed.
Yep.
And there's German scrawled across the bottom of the screen. And you can't, that's all it is for 3 minutes. And then it pulls up to this family on the side of the road. It goes back to the lady in the car again for like another minute. And then you can finally play the game, but you can't skip that. So when you lost first, it doesn't restart. It just went to a black screen and stayed there forever. So I had to like reload the page and try it again that way.
No.
And when I lost the second time, I was like, forget it. I'm not doing this again.
It's demoralizing.
But when you get into the game, you have a top-down view. This is kind of what the game board is.
Yeah,
you have a top-down
view
of basically the minivan with its roof cut off.
Yes.
I'm going to refresh my memory here real quick so there's the grid is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 spaces high by 5 spaces wide, with the top 6 spaces being taken up by the driver.
The top left 6.
Top left. Yeah.
Because like the area next to her is open, and it's always a pain to figure out what fits there.
Right. So you've got for the first challenge, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 items that you have to somehow fit into the spaces that exist there.
Yep.
And you do it by combining items and all that stuff. And there's even like a hint button, which again, the hints are in German.
It's not like a highlights this person and shows where they go within the car.
Yeah.
They just try to speak to you in German, and I was like, not understanding any of it. The only thing I could translate was like the first line was, "I'm Lisa, this is my Sharan," and then the rest that's basically what I've gotten from whatever language classes I've taken.
Yeah,
I understood that much, and then just over my head since then. So,
but that is that. I mean, that's the game. So the goal is just to try to either combine items, do what you can, try to fit them in the perfect way to fill up all spaces, and that's how you complete a level. What happens when you complete a level?
Lisa just keeps driving down the street and finds another group of people that just gets like progressively weirder. Okay. So like the second group includes like a clown, and a mermaid who's actually nude from the midriff up, and then like a few other things, and you have to figure out how to squeeze them into the car. And then you find another group of people. This one includes a swimmer, someone in a karate gi, a tennis player, and then a tiny man who likes to lift weights, and a soccer player. You have to fit them into the van. The one after that is what looks like a pretty crude caricature of a tribal person.
Oof.
An African tribal person. A backpacker, a tourist lady who is also a crude caricature of someone who is larger. A safari looking dude sitting on an alligator, and then some other items that you have to combine with them. The one after that is all mafia related. So there's a man trying to flag Lisa down. He's wearing a suit and a fedora. But there's like a violin, a Tommy gun, a like some grandma, some lady who's smoking in a red dress. And then like a violin case. You have to put like the Tommy gun in the violin case to like fit it into the car. That might be the best one. That one's really good. Man. And a dog wearing sunglasses.
Oh yes, the prototypical mafia mascot.
Yeah, the mafia dog.
It's okay.
That's
also,
as far as I got defense, before. Like, also, I had to do more research, so I had to stop playing, but I wanted to keep going.
In my defense, too, I didn't realize until halfway through my second time around that I could turn the characters.
Oh yeah.
I clicked twice on one, and like the girl like turned on her side, and I'm like, "What are you talking about right now?"
I started figuring stuff out with like 200 seconds left of the first one. And then I'm like, oh, okay, let's start rotating
let's do it again,
combining stuff. And
yeah,
well, I like I said, I never lost. So I got that one done.
All right. I'll give you the honor of being the best VW Sharan pack and puzzle player I've ever met.
Thank you. I'm officially the person with the speedrun record of this game, and I haven't finished it yet.
Mad congrats.
Thank you.
Maybe this is a streaming game.
It actually might be, just for how wacky it is. So yeah, I don't think there's much more about what this game is. It's a neat little puzzle shape puzzle game with weird characters.
Yeah.
And a lot of German. So if you want to work on your German, this might be a good game to play. This was developed by a company called Ad Games, which I don't really have too much on them, but they worked on some other advertisement games.
Yeah, their name is spot on.
Chris, do you know anything about the games that they made?
I do, and I wanted to make a special note though. This is not only a show of firsts, but it's a show of seconds, because this game also not listed on the Internet Games Database. So the first two games that I've come across since researching for this show, the first two that are not on that database have both been in this episode. Those games.
Who asked us a few days ago if this episode is going to be less weird than the last one?
It was probably Timmy.
It's either Timmy or XChin.
Yeah.
And I told them immediately no. It was it was Timmy. He said, "Have you drawn week 14 yet? And is it less weird?"
Yeah, this the fact that we got another adver game and so close to
another German adver game. Like, does Germany just really like video game pack-ins, or not pack-ins, but like advertisements?
I mean, that's all this company does. They did.
Listen, I actually really like. I like VW Sharan. I like Sharan my Sharan with people.
My Sharan. Anyways, Vision is the game. These are the games that Ad Games has put out. Vision, the 5-dimension utopia.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a weird life simulator game, but it is an ad game, and I couldn't figure out what the ad was for. I don't know if Vision is a company or what.
It's a German building society. It says.
Okay. I still don't know what
LBS.
that means. Is that like a homeowners association? I don't.
Which it sold rather cheaply in its branches. I have no idea. I'm gonna look it up quick.
Well, while you're looking that up,
Mm-hmm.
another game that they had was Callie and Company, which is an ad game that lets you drive a Volkswagen Golf.
Oh yeah.
Yes, they also came out with Vision 2. That's right. The popular follow-up to Vision, the 5-dimension utopia.
I love the Vision.
That's right.
From the Marvel universe, right?
That's
I've been
probably
watching
what
that
it is.
WandaVision.
Let's
It's exactly what
let's lock it in. That's what it was.
it's definitely Marvel copyright infringement. Let's go.
Let's see. Another game they had was Surfen mit der Jungenfa, an advert game for the sanitary article company Henkel.
Okay.
Henkel. Henkel. Yep. And Die Welt. It's a Paperboy adjacent game. That is an advert game for a German newspaper where you deliver said newspapers.
I'm looking at Surfen mit der Jungenfa. That's just definitely a lady in a bikini surfing what looks to be down a river of some sort.
Yeah. You know, where you surf.
yes, where surfing happens yes. in a straight line with shore on both sides of you.
Just gonna go surfing down these rapids.
I don't know how they do it in Germany. It could be different there.
That's true. We're not being fair.
That's German engineering, my friend.
The fact that that's the gameplay mechanic for a sanitary article company. That's like paper towels, toilet paper.
Yeah.
Other stuff. Those are the 5 games that I saw credited to them on Moby.
Yeah, that's all I've seen too.
Yeah.
I tried looking them up. It's basically I think they're an offshoot of an ad company of gosh, what was the name of the place? I had it. I don't have it anymore.
Yeah, I don't know either.
But in terms of the once I was digging deeper, it just looks like it was just a division of an advertisement company that just happened to make a few games. So
gotcha.
Yep.
I mean, in terms of publisher, we've got Volkswagen, the popular, car company.
We all know them. Yeah.
They actually had a hand in publishing one of Ad Game's other games, Callie and Company. That was the one where you can drive a Volkswagen Golf. And they're also responsible for publishing, obviously, this game. New Beetle Tracks and Gaps and VW Lupo Cup. So Volkswagen, no stranger to publishing video games as well. Now, if you go into the Discord, I did add a couple screenshots. I added a picture of an actual VW Sharan, that thing is a massive minivan.
It's a big thing.
Very egg-like.
If you think about minivans from like the 90s.
Yeah, I mean, it's chunky.
It was either like you had a sedan or you had a tank of some sort.
True.
And this was the tank.
Yeah. And then I also added the Internet Archive version of the game. So if you want to give it a shot, pop in there. It's worth playing. It's worth checking.
That's where I played it. Yeah, it's fine. Like you can actually get in there and play it.
Yeah.
So
get past the first little cutscene and don't lose, because you're gonna have to sit through it again if you want to try it again.
Yeah, don't lose. Never lose.
Never lose. Do John.
Never
do what
surrender.
He does.
Yeah, do what I did.
Don't do what I did.
You give up on your terms.
I tried
not
the
on the
game
game's
3
terms.
times. That was too many. So yeah, that's all I've got on VW Sharan.
Chris, you've also beaten like 10 more games this year than I have, so let's put that into perspective.
Yeah, but the one that's going to haunt me is VW Sharan.
It's true.
You're
gonna have to buy one and like squeeze your family into it over and over and over again just to make up for your failures here.
Well, we talked about, I should, am I going to play any more Galaxy? Well, no, I'm definitely not. I've got to play VW Sharan Pack and Puzzle tomorrow morning instead. Just kidding. We're not doing that.
I'm currently looking to see if there's any VW Sharons for sale in Minnesota.
That's what I wonder. I don't even think that vehicle released in the U.S.
No, I don't think it
that
released here. No, it's
which is also
I'm
weird because in the game the steering wheel's on the left side,
which happens sometimes.
Does
like
it?
Yeah, like just in Europe, it's like different in different places.
Oh, I guess it was just
like in the UK,
right.
it's on the left, and other places it's on the right. Or sorry, in the UK, it's on the right. Some places it's on the left.
Sounds like
or
we need
they
to take
had
the
the
show on the
picture
road.
mirrored. We should. This is going to be a whole Top Gear situation.
Yep.
Volkswagen Sharan for 9,795 pounds used, 6,500 pounds. This one is 6,300 pounds. It's a good price, it says on Auto Trader. It says it's green. It's a good price.
Is it the same color green as the one in the Discord?
No,
kind of a minty mint green.
No, these are real people colors. So let me go. Hold on. I have to take a look at it again. No. Oh no. Oh no. No. Please no.
You could call that mint green, right? It's not a good color.
It's not. It's like someone put gack under glass. Like that's the color that it is. It's like almost neon green, but like someone put a coat of white over it, and the green is still peeking out a ton. That is a disgusting color of the car. I would like the red one from the game, please. so it goes faster.
Right.
That's how the color of your car affects the speed of the car.
Obviously we're a little off course here, but really there's not too much to talk about. It is we're
just having fun at this point.
It's a pretty one-dimensional game. I had fun with it.
I like it. It's fun.
For an ad game, I had fun with it. Period.
I wish they localized it.
Right. Yes, those hints would be super helpful.
It would be. Couldn't they just make it like, since they developed it, they co-developed it with the Ford Galaxy? Can't we have a Ford Galaxy version? Do we have a Ford Galaxy version of this game?
I don't know.
FOD Galaxy is what I put into Google.
I'm curious what the results come back when you type that in. FOD Galaxy.
I'm not going to search that specifically. That sounds like it'll get me into trouble. Ford Galaxy in video games. Mafia 3, Modern Warfare 2, The Getaway.
Wait, the Ford
Trials
Galaxy
Frontier
is in Mafia 3?
Oh, sorry, that's an old Ford Galaxy. New Ford Galaxy. That was a Galaxy with IE.
Ew.
Mm-hmm. It's like a old car. This isn't loading now. Who knows? It wasn't meant to be.
Yeah.
We weren't supposed to know. It's too much information.
We could probably move on from this one.
Sadly, yes.
Yeah, that's all that I've got.
I'm gonna pack it away.
Not much to talk about on that one. Nope. But do try it out.
Yeah.
Do yourself a favor, try out the game.
Please do. Yeah, if you like puzzles, if you like a little brain teaser, jump in there. Jump in that car. Give it a test drive. Let's go. Game 3.
Hoo-hoo. All right. Woo-hoo. We have our third game, developed by Fanatics Software, published by Fanatics Software. This is an isometric fantasy real-time strategy game released in the year 2002 on the iPad, Linux, Macintosh, and Windows, which is the version we will be looking at. Mm-hmm. Again, another game that I have no history with. This is a game called Northland, also known as Cultures Northland.
Also, originally in its original language, German. This is another German game. Stories from the world of cultures, journey to Nordland. Yeah, this is Northland. So which is a Ford dealership here, isn't it?
Northland, Minnesota. Ford. Yes, Northland, it is. Ford. Oh my god!
Okay,
it's all tying
wrap
together.
It back around. German Ford, Sharan.
So yes, this is a isometric fantasy real-time strategy game. I'll give you a little description as to what the backstory is here. I'm just going to read it straight off the back of the box because the description to me is actually super interesting. Loki, known from the Nordic sagas as the versatile god of lies and weaver of many intrigues against his divine colleagues, has been banned from Asgard by Odin as a punishment for the trouble caused by the Midgard serpent. That's a banging first sentence. I'm in.
It sure is.
Now Loki is plotting revenge and searching for a possibility to sneak back into Asgard and pay Odin back. Out of spite, he abuses our 4 human heroes, Sigurd the Frank, Hatshi the brave Saracen, Biami, and Sira with his intrigues and traps. Embark on adventures and quests to help your allies wrest free from Loki's insidious machinations, whether it's a plague of serpents or the demon wolf Fenrir dropping by for a rather unexpected visit. Ensure the health and safety of your people as you start with but a humble town and work your way up to a large city. Interesting note, this last sentence. Cultures 3 offers the best combination of strategy and adventure.
Yeah.
So this game is not actually officially recognized as Cultures 3, though. From what I saw.
It is and it isn't. So on Steam, that line is Cultures Northland offers the best combination. Yeah. So this has a really weird branding issue because we like at the very beginning of this segment, we described it as like 3 different names.
Yeah.
And it was really hard to like. I had to do some digging to make sure that we were actually covering the right game. Because like there's Northland, there's Cultures 3 Northland, there's Stories from the World of Cultures, Journey to Nordland, if that's even the same game as this, which they are all the same game, luckily. Yeah, this is a real-time strategy game, which from what I've been reading, is less cool than
it sounds.
What, yeah. A lot of it is more on they say exploration and adventure, but there's like less conflict and less combat than other RTS games, especially from this time. Game originally came out in 2002. It came out in the US in 2004. A lot of it is having your workers like figure out what job they're gonna do, and then like leveling them up. So like having them chop down trees or mine stuff, and then have other people like become collectors to gather those resources, and it's a lot of micromanagement of your society.
Yeah, I was, again, that description kind of it checked a lot of boxes where I was like, oh, this sounds awesome.
Totally, they gotta hook you.
Yeah. So I actually went ahead, I downloaded the game. Now I was pretty sure, despite that sounding awesome,
yep,
RTS is that's a cuss word to me.
You're not an RTS guy.
I am not an RTS guy.
Great.
That's not to say that I won't try anything once. I'm not an RTS guy from the year 2002. That much is for certain. Those games have come a long way. They've become more accessible.
One that's not like StarCraft or Warcraft.
Yeah,
like those are my RTSs. Those are the ones that I can jam with.
Yeah, I can't. I've tried playing StarCraft. I had some friends growing up that were super into StarCraft, and I would just look at the screen and be like, "This isn't at all what I want to do." My game in time.
Telling me I need to build additional pylons. How do I do that?
Yeah. So we'll go into a couple of the specific bullet points about the game itself, but just keep in mind, like, this is an RTS. This is what you had said something a little bit ago about how to, you had to kind of micromanage the way your characters do things, the people that you're overseeing. Oh boy, do you.
It's a very slow moving RTS.
Within 5 minutes, I was like, not only do I not only, again, I don't want to sound overly negative on the game because the game actually might be very good for people who like RTSs. I don't like RTSs. And I was super put off by just the simple, like, the where I spawned, there were 4 treasure chests. And the work it took for me to get one character over to the treasure chest to open the treasure chest.
What was in it?
I don't know. I don't know where it would pop up to tell me what I was picking up. I think I was picking up missions. Like I would open it and then like a mission would pop up. I'm like, well, that's dumb. Why would there be a mission in this treasure chest? So I was sure I picked up an item. I don't know where it was. I tried to do the missions, and then while I was doing that, like some village I didn't know anything about, like I just had my little secluded area, was getting attacked. And I'm like, I don't even know those people. Like, what am I doing? Like, I'm not helping them. Like, I got to figure out I don't even know how to do anything in this game. I was like super stressed out. I'm like,
yeah.
I don't like RTSs. And that one was one where I was like, just so immediately overwhelmed by just how to do the most basic of things that I was like, quit, uninstall. So, not as abruptly upfront as I can be. This was not a Chris game.
No,
but
and it's like, even with me, who I do have some nostalgia for some RTSs. Like this one also looked very slow to me as well. And like I bought it and didn't boot it up. But I did watch some videos, and man, that's like the micromanaging is it's a lot. It is a lot. I couldn't really even see like what end game was looking like for each of these levels. I know you're trying to get like a rock that came from space or something, and like you're just gonna be building your buildings and figuring out where people go and gathering your resources to build more stuff. And if there's not much like combat happening, like it feels like you're just doing stuff to kill time.
Yeah. And I guess I should circle back a little bit to what we opened with. This game is actually, while it's not technically Cultures 3, it is the follow-up to a game called Cultures 2: The Gates of Asgard.
Yeah.
It is a full functioning sequel. So the characters in this game are direct carryovers
Mm-hmm.
from Cultures 2. So I don't think that matters at all, in my opinion, in how I didn't
And
see
like
any of these
actually like
characters.
jumping into it, like I don't think that would
Yeah.
really matter that much.
Yeah, and I guess I don't know enough about the story. I didn't see any of those characters because I didn't make it that far. Maybe they come up, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean some of the bullet points taken from the website, which it technically isn't available anymore, but I found them listed at a different spot within Moby.
Yes.
They do consider this a standalone adventure strategy game.
Yep.
Um,
In
it is
that it's not an expansion to
right.
something.
Yes,
Yeah.
which is, again, they explain it's based upon that trivia note says that it's based upon the Cultures 2 engine with enhanced
Right.
features, additional campaigns, and a new story and mission. But it is not simply an add-on. But it's also, it's not technically Cultures 3. It's very strange the way that they
Right.
definitely
It
don't know
depends
their
on where you're
identity.
at, or what time period you've found this game. Like at one point it was Cultures 3. Like I don't know. They've changed the name a few times in North America.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't always just Northland. It was Cultures Northland, or at one point Cultures 3 Northland. But like, when were you buying that, and when was it actually called that? Who knows? Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, the other things that kind of get listed are it's a single player campaign. There are 8 missions and there are several submissions. The story
Yes.
itself is apparently supposed to tell the story of the Viking god Loki, who tried to take revenge on Godfather Odin for his banishment from Asgard to Earth. And for that, he abuses our 4 heroes with his intrigues and traps. So, no idea how that plays into the game.
Yeah.
Obviously, didn't get that far.
No.
There's It says 8 additional free single-player missions. So maybe something that exists outside of the campaign, just standalone missions.
Sounds right.
There are 6 multiplayer missions, so there is multiplayer in the game. 3 difficulty levels.
Excellent.
I don't know what I selected. Maybe I should have tried beginner.
Yeah, like that's always just. I don't think that would. I don't think that would really help you.
Okay.
No.
Where it's like beginners, just like you play the game for me. All right.
Just
Yeah.
it'll be still obtuse, but less obtuse.
Yeah, they call out.
It's probably just like it's probably like resource requirements are different. Or
okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, there are enemy units, so maybe less HP, things like that. Survive those encounters better.
Right. Yes.
Special effects like weather effects, fog, ghost units, internet lobby for matchmake. So you can do matchmake even, not just okay. Easy to use map editor to create single player, multiplayer maps that can be played alone with your friends. So you can make your own maps, and then based on the enhanced technology of cultures too. So those were the main bullet points taken from the box. John, what else do you have on this game? Because I'm not going to lie, I don't have a lot else.
I don't have much else about the game itself. I saw a review that said that it ran poorly at the time on like pretty recent hardware, especially when it was like brought over to the US and the game was 2 years old. But like, yeah, game wise, I don't really have much else. It's definitely an RTS set in Norse mythology adjacent lands. That's about it. I don't really have much. I tried watching some videos and they were all on like the first level, all doing the same thing that you were doing. Everyone was building a farm.
Yeah,
that was about
get
it.
Me started on figuring out how to build a farm, let alone open it. Yeah, treasure chests were hard. Building a farm harder. I had like the space all laid out, but nobody would do anything. They were just staring at it.
Yeah. You just had to figure out like who is your worker, who's the one who's actually doing it, who's the carpenter. Yeah. I don't know. So the developers of this thing, Fanatics. It's a good name.
It is.
It's Funatics. Fanatics. They are the main heads of Fanatics were Thomas Friedman, Thorsten Nielsen, and Thomas Hauser, who were all. I think all three of them came from a developer called Blue Byte, who's known for the Settlers series. And these were developers that worked on Settlers. So this is them taking their the lessons that they learned on Settlers, which is another RTS civilization building franchise, which I've always heard of. I've never played.
Okay, I was actually going to ask you that because in a very strange coincidence, I didn't know any of this, but you said Settlers. I just realized I just found out yesterday that apparently there's a new Settlers game being made as we speak.
Yeah. So. I thought I remembered that happening. Yeah, I'd always see the Settlers in like, you know those places, like if you go to Target 15 years ago, you go to like the game section, and there was just like jewel cases for like PC games that were like $10 a piece. I would always see Settlers 2 there, or Settlers 3. Like it was 100% of the time, the Settlers was one of those games that was in like the bargain bin or like on the shelves there. Never played it. Always heard like pretty good things about it, but I couldn't tell you if it's super close to what this is or not. The characters always are looking at the characters from this. It looks like what I remember from the Settlers. It's a very specific, almost like, God, what would you call like the look of the characters for this? They almost look like trolls.
They, the character models seem okay. The first thing that flashed into my head, which is this might be a little difficult. It's not a super well-known game, but if you zoom out and then go 3 like isometric camera, they look like characters from the Lost Vikings.
Yes. Yep. Like
kind of weird claymation-y almost.
Yeah, like little stout characters with like big heads, big noses.
Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely look like the Lost Vikings. I also wanted to make that comparison as well. But I
I
thought
just took
maybe
it
I'd
right
be
from you.
off on that. But no, I'm glad you're reinforcing my my thoughts on that. Yeah, they definitely look like the Lost Vikings. But um, so yeah, Fanatics has been around for quite a while. They opened in 1998. Their first game was actually a Catan game.
Oh yeah,
Um, which is very interesting that they were like one of the first people to. I mean, Catan's been around for quite a while, right? I'm looking it up right now, so I don't shoot
probably.
myself in the foot on this one.
I still have a wrapped version of Catan in my bookshelf. I've
That's
never actually played it.
it's a good game.
We didn't have the
It's a very good
expansion.
game.
That's open. That hasn't been opened either.
I've never played it with the expansion. I don't think.
Oh, man,
But
board
Catan,
game night
it's
someday.
very very good. Catan came out in 1995, so their Catan PC game came out in 1999. Sorry, PC and PlayStation.
Ooh,
Called Catan: The First Island, and then they went into the Cultures series. After Cultures, they actually remastered the Settlers 2, which is interesting. And they had Ubisoft actually publish that for them. I wonder if
okay.
Ubisoft owns the right. Oh yeah, they do actually.
Ubisoft is responsible for creating the new Settlers,
Yeah,
so they've
Blue
had that
Byte was
for a long time.
purchased by Ubisoft. They are now known as Ubisoft Blue Byte.
Oh,
So
still to this
that makes
day.
sense. Let me see.
I think I've heard.
As of April 19th, 2017, Blue Byte announced the opening of a third studio in Berlin.
Okay.
The studio is founded despite the assignment to Blue Byte Ubisoft under the name Berlin. Blue Byte turned blah blah blah.
I don't. Ubisoft Blue Byte doesn't ring a bell with me. But if they're
Ubisoft Blue Byte remains as the umbrella organization for the German studios.
interesting, okay. I wonder if it's just
Mm-hmm.
because maybe it's just the games that are released. If they're similar to this, maybe it's just something that's fallen under my radar for a
Blue
while.
Byte is the Anno developer. So
Oh,
Anno 1800, Anno 2205.
okay.
That's another 4X or like civilization builder franchise.
Yeah, they've always got
Which,
really cool box art, but then I'm like, oh
yes,
wait,
yes, always looks awesome.
this is a game I'm not into.
But yeah, they've also worked on probably less about Blue Byte because that's not the developer that we're talking about. But both of these companies still exist currently. Fanatics went on to they worked on Tom Clancy's End War for the DS and the PSP, which is very weird. And their newest game is a Windows game called Valhalla Hills, which seems like a spiritual successor to this game, actually.
So
Did,
I have a slightly different history. I think it all comes together in the end.
sure, yeah,
But okay, so I have Fanatics is founded in 1988, but it was acquired by, oh my god, I can't believe I have to deal with this word again. Phenomedia.
yes, and then that went defunct like 2 years later.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
okay, for you guys that have been paying attention, Phenomedia. I hate it so much. It was mentioned in
not
episode
as fun as Fanatics.
right. Yes, they should have kept that name. They were actually mentioned in episode 12 as the developer for Beefy Roll. Well, they
Yeah,
weren't.
that's right.
The art department created Beefy Roll, but eventually that was absorbed
Yes,
and became or not absorbed. They actually changed their name to Phenomedia, I think.
yeah.
So I thought that was a fun little connection. But yeah, Phenomedia, I don't know. I don't know where to put the right emphasis there. Filed for insolvency in May of 2002. So the company
Yes.
came back in September of 2002, so a few short months later, but they had changed their name from Fanatics Software to Fanatics Development.
Other
And
way.
then, is it the other way around?
At least on their Wikipedia page, it's Fanatics Development starting in 1998, and then Fanatics Software starting in 2002.
Okay,
with
I might have that crossed up. So,
and maybe that could be crossed up too. I don't know. They
but
kept the same actual name. They just changed
added,
what came after it.
Yeah. So in 2006, they moved their office from Mulheim an der Ruhr to Oberhausen. And then that's where what you were just saying kicks in. The other cultures games, they worked on Settlers and also worked on Tom Clancy's End War and then Valhalla Hills, like you said. So all in all, I think it's the same thing. They just went through a couple things. And one of them I felt like I had to mention because beefy roll.
Yeah.
Always a good time to talk about beefy rolls.
Always. Can't not.
Yeah.
Won't not.
That's really all I had on development as well. Or at least developer details.
So Valhalla Hills came out in 2015. That's still available on Steam currently. You can buy it for $2, which I did today because I want to see what the heck that game is.
Did you get the definitive edition?
I did. Well, yeah, the one that came with like developer videos and stuff, just in case.
I just knew that they had the Valhalla Hills in 2015, but the definitive edition came out in 2017.
Oh, I did not get that.
Okay,
I got whatever was on Steam.
Okay, the last thing that I've seen the studio do was that definitive edition.
Yeah. So they're still around. Right now they are in a what they call a restart phase. They've been there since the beginning of 2018, and they're trying to realize new projects with a small team. So whatever that means. They're not closed though currently. So the only people I could find, like I looked at LinkedIn, and the only people that they showed were employed by Fanatics were Thomas Friedman and Thomas Hauser. So not sure if it's just a lot of contracted people. Two of the three main founders. I don't know where Thorsten Nielsen may or may not be, but those were the names that I found currently associated with them on LinkedIn.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Hey, that's
yeah. If you guys want to play the game, I found it for $4.99 on Steam.
I did too.
It was slightly discounted on another website, like 60 cents. So if you really want to find the banging deal, head to isthereanydeal.com. And I did find this game did have a Metacritic score. It was a 62 on Metacritic with a 7.7 user score. So maybe not the best reviewed critically, but again, the users rally and show the critics what's up. 7.7.
Exactly. It has a very positive score on Steam currently. So
right.
Maybe it's more exciting than it lets on
personally, but
yeah. but that's baseline for RTSs for Chris.
Yes. It's a very important to take any criticism or anything that I, positive or negative that I say about a game and understand what I like. I don't like RTSs. Yeah. This game falls in that category of RTS. So
yes. Yep. It sure does, Chris.
It sure does.
It sure does.
Should we rank these, John?
We should.
Try something new.
Yeah, let's rank
Try
them.
ranking them.
Yeah. Oh man.
Oh, don't you do this. Don't you do this to me. You know I'm incapable, John.
You go first.
Okay. Did you just concede and like, all right, well, I don't know.
No, I'm pretty sure you go first this time.
Okay. So my number 3 game of the week.
Yes.
Is Northland.
Ooh. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, Chris. Again, shots fired at the RTS genre.
See, now this one
and at Fathers of a Classic.
So here, usually having an opportunity to play something would move things up in my eyes. And this game did not start as number 3. But when I played it, and again, the complexity, the super slow nature of what I was doing, the inability to comprehend anything, this game, for me personally, someone who doesn't have the patience to deal with these games in the first place, this game is unplayable. So yeah, it is my number 3. Probably a fine RTS if you have the patience and the willingness to get into it. This is my personal list. It's at the bottom.
Everyone should take complete offense to Chris's list.
As you should.
It is affront to all game critics out there. Mm-hmm. Everyone knows that Northland does not deserve the number 3 spot, Chris. In my opinion, the number 3 spot this week goes to UFO Commando. And it's mainly because you can't play it. I literally cannot play this game if I wanted to right now. So it's gonna have to go to number 3. Also, I don't think it's doing a whole lot with its gameplay. All of those vehicles seem to be doing the same thing with different modes of travel, whether it's in the air or on the ground. But I don't think I'd find that much fun in UFO Commando to begin with. But it is interesting as a relic of what the indie games platform was on 360.
That's true. Yeah.
So I'll give it that. I'll give it that much.
Yeah, and UFO Commando is my number 2. Nothing about this game, from what I could see from the 3 whole minutes of video that exists out there for it, mm-hmm. Was good. Even this is I mean, the graphics. Looking at like the graphics, I mean, there are. I don't even know what to liken it to. It looks like a Microsoft Paint game.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't know. That's fine. Again, I'm not necessarily holding that against it, but it is very unappealing to look at in the first place.
Yes.
I can't say what the difference is between the vehicles. I'm assuming flying is the easiest way to approach this game because you fight other flying things.
The first thing they give you is a UFO. Like, you could just fly with it.
Yeah. And yeah.
Why not build up to that?
Nothing that I saw from this game makes me want to play it. But again, you know, if I could play it, maybe it's my number 3. You know?
Who knows?
It could be. The inability to play it could have actually saved this from being at the bottom of my list for the week. John, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is your number 3. It's going to be Northland. I did purchase this game. I do kind of want to check it out still, just to see what the actual pace of it is and what the missions actually entail at my own leisure. It's near impossible to watch a video of this and find it to be interesting to watch. I'm sure engaging with it is a completely different thing. I like the look of it. I do like RTSs from that time. Yeah, you kind of have to dedicate like an afternoon to this game to like piece it together and figure out like what all you need to do to build up the society. Mm-hmm. 8 times. Yeah. But yeah, Northland is just a pretty easy number 2. I can play it. I don't know if I want to, but I am open to giving it a try. So yeah, Northland is my number 2. I'm actually more interested in trying Valhalla Hills to see what that formula looks like 13 years later in a more modern context. So that is my number 2. Chris, what gets the top spot from you this week?
Well, first off, you berated me for putting Northland as my number 3, and you have the audacity to put a VW Sharan advertisement video game ahead of Northland.
Let me put this mirror up to your face, Chris.
I comfortably put Northland as my number 3.
Yeah. Hey, guess what? I'm thinking about going and finishing this game.
No, VW Sharan, Pack and Puzzle is my number one, which is about the most shocking turn of events I could have predicted for this episode. Boy, once I started the puzzle and that timer ticked down, I couldn't put it down. When the timer ran out, I was both sad that I lost because that sucked, but I was crushed that I had to sit through the opening to try it again. The first time. The second time I didn't, or I guess the third time I didn't sit through the opening. I don't know.
Don't get it wrong, and then you don't have to.
I know that's
then you wonder like, oh, is that the end? Are we just gonna get credits? And then Lisa rolls up on a topless mermaid. Like things just go crazy from the second puzzle on.
Yeah, I think I need to understand. I need to get into the lore a little bit more.
Yes, yes.
I think I really need to understand what's happening in this world.
Who's hitchhiking in Germany? Why is it all like 5 people and all of their belongings?
Also, I'm gonna put this, the nicest person. I'm gonna put this stamp on it too. VW Sharan, Pack and Puzzle. Stamp it. Better than Tetris.
Wow. This week, at least. I mean, Tetris doesn't even make the list.
That's true. Yeah.
But this week, technically, UFO Commando better than Tetris. Northland better than StarCraft.
Right. Yes. There we go.
Better than StarCraft 2.
But no, yeah, it was a fun game. It's been a weird week. All right. It's been a weird week.
No kidding, man.
John, why do you have VW Sharan as your number one?
Yeah, so VW Sharan, it's a pretty simple puzzle game. You're rotating things, you're figuring out what size things are, the placement of them, what accessories go. That's the word, accessories. What accessories go with which character, and how are you squeezing all these people into Lisa's van? You can exercise your brain through puzzling. You could also learn a new language with this game, Chris. It is not in English. You can learn German from it.
Learn is a stretch. You can be spoken at in German and just be like, I don't know.
you can learn that her name is Lisa. This is her Sharan, and find out what she's saying to the mafia family that she's now going to be transporting to somewhere in Germany.
Yeah, I am curious about what that car talk's all about.
So it's just a wild surprise of a game. I really like what VW Sharan Pack and Puzzle is doing. I support everything that it's doing in all of its goofy clown carring. Easily my number one this week. Maybe my number one of the year. Who knows? We gotta start ranking the rankings soon.
Bring us Ford Galaxy Pack and Puzzle, you cowards.
Yeah, you cowards. Localize this. I want to know what Lisa is in English. I don't even know if her name's Lisa. I'm pretty sure it's Lisa.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I'm sorry, Lisa, if you're listening to this in your Sharan, if you're cruising down the road listening to podcasts in your 1995 Volkswagen Sharan, we're sorry if that's not your name. And if it's not your name, then you probably don't know we're talking about you. That's it.
There you
that's
have
number one,
folks.
That's
it. That's 3 very strange video games for the week. But I'm losing
my mind. Let's go.
That was a fun one. I wasn't sure what to expect when we got to that one. I was like, boy, this could be this is where
I saw pictures of it and knew immediately what that game was. Like, oh, it's just a puzzle game. You just rotate people in there. It's way more fun than that.
Yeah, it is. It was a good time.
When companies put a little bit of care into their advert games, it's good. It's like the sneaking or the pocket bike racers or Doritos Crash Course. if you actually put a fun game in there with some weird stuff, people are going to like it. End of story.
Yeah.
People are going to talk about it at least. Like, that's marketing. That's advertising.
Yeah, I've wanted a beefy roll for 3 weeks now, and
I know, right?
Nobody sent us anything.
Now I want a Volkswagen Sharan. Now that I know how many people I can fit in there.
That's right. No matter how crazy their hair is, the kid with the backward hat was like the bill of the cap is like as long as his legs.
Yeah. You know what really throws
kid.
you off? Like when you give someone like the right accessory, they change what position they're in.
Yeah.
Which changes the entire puzzle.
Yep. You think you're close, and then you're like, well, now you're weirdly oblong. I don't know what to do with you. Look, see, this is how this game has affected us this week. All right. Listen, if you guys enjoyed the show, if you guys had fun with us, please reach out to us. We have our Patreon, patreon.com/procedurally generated. We have our Twitter, PG_show. We've got our email at pgshowinbox@gmail.com. We've got our Discord link below, and we have our YouTube linked below as well. If you really like it and you feel like throwing us a couple bucks, by all means, don't let us stop you. The Patreon has different tiers, different goals. Things like that. See what you think. As little as $3 gets you early access. It gets you, I think it gets you ad free, right?
For which one? Which
for
tier?
The $3 tier.
No. Yeah. Well,
Gets
yeah.
You
if you're a patron at all, you do get ad free.
Yeah. Yes. And then you also will get the ability to vote in our once a month community choice game, which we should post. We don't have to post yet for a little while.
Next week we'll post it.
Yeah, I think maybe after next week's show. Yes. So we'll get that up as well. But we obviously have a lot of things that we want to do with this channel.
Mm-hmm.
Well, eventually with our YouTube channel, absolutely. But with
I mean, if you're listening on YouTube, this channel. The one that you're listening on.
I was talking specifically to you guys and to the rest of you listening on a podcast app. We have a lot of things we want to do with a podcast as well. So thank you guys for listening. We recently passed 400 listens, which is that's a big number, and
it's huge.
Yeah, we're super grateful that you guys are taking the time to check this out. I get people that pop into my channel all the time. That are talking about the show, that are excited for the next episode. They're offering up, just things that it's cool to see people grabbing onto it the way they are.
Yeah.
So thank you guys. If you have been listening, this is your first time listening, welcome. Go back, check out our old episodes. But let's thank some people responsible for getting us this far.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Let me see. So we have to thank these folks once I sort it. So I'm not trying to pick and choose and get people in order here. We've got Mecha Sprite. We've got Young Hydra at our platinum level. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
We have got Xchin at gold. We've got
thanks, Xchin.
Cassidy, Catherine, Lone Wolf, Tim, and Tori at silver. We've got Ozzy, Brandon, Jason, and John. All of you guys at our bronze tiers. Thank you guys so much for your support and just helping us kind of fully realize this thing. So we want to keep the good times rolling here. We're going to keep the hammer down.
And to remind people, for like the people who are giving to our Patreon, we're using that money to help offset some of the games that we're buying, some of the marketing that we're doing, some of the equipment that we're going to be purchasing. Mm-hmm. So every little bit helps. If you are giving, if you can't give, and you just want to listen, just listen.
Yep,
that's it.
And if you do like the show, we, like I said, we tweet out when new shows are live. Feel free to retweet that if you think you have some followers that may enjoy it and may enjoy the show, may enjoy the podcast.
And we have had some people do that for us, and that's amazing. Thank you so much.
It is one of the most flattering things that we see when the Twitter blows up and it's a retweet from somebody.
Yeah.
It means you care enough to share it with the people around you, and that means the world to us. So, final ask of you guys, as if we haven't asked enough. Could you please leave a positive review on whatever podcast listening device, or not your device, your app, or whatever you're listening on. That will help us reach new ears as well. Again, we're definitely wanting to grow this thing. We love having a community that we know and love and recognize, and we want that to grow. So that's what our focus is. So thank you guys again so much. John, do you have anything else that you want to add in?
No, I just want to thank everyone again for listening, for spending time with us on here or in Discord or in our streams. Means a lot to me, and I know it means a lot to Chris as well.
Absolutely. And if you guys, that's a good point too. If you guys want to see what we look like, come into our Twitch channels. I am CW719, and John is.
I'm John Carson Games.
Come check us out. Come hang out with us. We've got just an amazing Twitch community. Good
Chris
people all
busted
around.
out the green screen again. He's back up, front and center.
That's right.
In his camera. Yeah.
I like it. You can't even see the game. Green screen. It's just my giant face.
It's not Pokemon. It's just Chris.
Yeah.
It's not Mario Galaxy. It's Chris's Galaxy.
Yeah. It felt good to go back to the green screen.
I like it. Yeah.
I think you should keep it for now. I was grabbing some clips for Cryophilic to get some to get a video put together. And as I was going through the old clips of me when I had my green screen before, I was like, I feel like I'm more engaged with everything that's happening when I have my green screen. It's kind of a weird thing, but it just feels that way.
Not to discuss this in front of everyone. I feel like the camera angle is just better with the green screen. So
yeah, also true. I don't have
good switch.
Yeah, good. I'm glad you enjoy it.
Thank you,
Kate. As I put it up too, she was like, "Oh man, you should have made this switch a while ago." I was like, "What?
Well,
come on!"
You never know if you don't try. Like, you had a cool studio set up. Like, I really like your background that you've got going, but the green screen just looks a little bit nicer.
Yeah, I think works. I think it works better for the kind of streamer I am too. So
yeah, totally.
All right, guys. Have yourself a solid week. Have yourself a safe week. It's going to be colder than all get out here, so we're going to try to stay warm. And if we survive the cold, we'll talk to you next week.
I'll let you know if there are any fire alarms. And also, before anyone asks, it's going to be another weird week next week. So
yeah,
enjoy.
Yeah, the randomness is really notching itself up here.
It's really good. It's really good. All right. We'll see you guys next week.
See ya.